Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey Podcast, episode 169 in the home studio, here with Chris and Lorenzo.
Hey.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great.
Where did Lorenzo go anyways?
He went to make us a drink.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good because we got a...
Hey. Whoa. Make the drink. Don't chug the...
Wow. Oh, yeah. He's getting ready. He's amped up for these events coming up.
Trek.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when this records, we'll be at Trek.
We will be at Trek.
When this drops, we'll be at
Sierra Trek 2022, right. Meadow Lake.
If you missed your sign up, you missed your sign up to get food, but you can still sign up to get in runs.
Yeah. So this is going to come out the Tuesday after. So if you're listening to this now and you didn't go to Trek, too bad, so sad.
Too bad. It was fun. We had a great time.
It was an awesome freaking time. Holy smokes. I can't even begin to tell you how much fun we had. It was epic.
Yeah.
But if you miss that, don't miss this event that we're about to talk about.
Exactly.
Because... oh my gosh! I know you know what I'm about to say because I just preached this event. I should be on their marketing team. I really should.
Well, that could be your next career.
Because I instantly fell in love with Sand Hollow in Hurricane, Utah, and went to that event. Everything was indicating that I shouldn't go the first time. All my friends backed out.
Right. Blew a tire.
Blew a tire on my truck, heading out there. I'm like solo. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. But I made it. And man, I'm glad I did because what an incredible event. So the 7th annual Trail Hero event is coming up October 3rd through the 8th. In Hurricane, Utah, southern Utah. So just about 2.5 hour drive from... Las Vegas. Now, if you fly into Las Vegas and rent a Prius, it's going to take you about 7.5 hours. But you rent, any Ford vehicle. Even a Chevy, you can get there in about 2.5 hours.
I'm going to rent a Hummer EV.
There you go.
The most
perfect.
Inefficient EV on the market.
You got to stop 3 times to charge it on the way there. So, so we had the pleasure of sitting down with Rich Klein.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's president of Trail Hero here. Runs the whole operation with, what did he say, 170 volunteers?
Yeah, around 170
volunteers.
170 brave souls and saints that are going to be out there running this whole operation for a week.
That's mind-boggling.
And I'm sure it's a week of work before the week starts.
Oh, we're less than 60 days from the event, and they're, as you like to say, banging and clanging.
Oh, yeah, they are.
So, hashtag Trail Hero prep.
I mean, I'm sure there are rigs being built specifically for it. People are still wheeling their junk before they go to Trail Hero. So if they break their shit before they go, they got to fix their shit and then get there.
Right.
And then, of course, they're going to break their shit there. And then they'll be banging and clanging while they're down there. I mean, if you're like Amber, you're going to roll it a couple, 3 times.
On one trail.
On one trail.
So, sorry, Amber.
You need an alternator, a starter, a third member. If you're a Toyota, you might need, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
Frame.
No, it is. Great event. We had interviewed Rich last year, like weeks before the event, and it was super busy, and we were lucky to get him on. But I talked to him. I said, "Hey, we want to get you on earlier for 2022." Saw him at Jeepers Jamboree, and so he agreed to hop on with us and talk about the event. And holy smokes, there is more stuff. Well, this year, jam-packed from sun up to way past sundown.
Oh, yeah.
It did night run. We didn't even talk about night runs. There's night runs, too. So
are there sanctioned night runs?
Maybe. Wow, that got Lorenzo's attention. He likes the night runs.
James is at the front door.
No, James already. He is knocking. Let him in. Let James in. Samurai James has just heard night run. He drove all the way from Sacramento to here.
In a Dodge.
And he didn't break down. Man, that's amazing.
Well, he got here way faster than a Ford. That's for sure.
Miracles. Anyways, hey, so let's roll into that conversation
Wanna
with
do
Rich
that?
Klein. Let's do it.
I don't know. That's too much information.
It is. Get ready. Buckle up, Buttercups. There's a lot coming your way. And if you're not fired up about Trail Hero after hearing him talk about it, I don't know what to tell you.
You're dead. Roll it.
All right, Chris, we are here once again. We've had this gentleman on the podcast before. Got a great career in off-road, off-roading, rock crawling. In particular, starting this event 7 years ago, Trail Hero, the head janitor, as he's referred to, Rich Klein. How are you doing, Rich?
What an introduction. Thank you. I am the guy who cleans up most of the crap. So, yeah, head janitor is about right.
There you go. Welcome, and thanks for carving out some time here. But we wanted to get you on earlier this year because last year we caught you towards like weeks before Trail Hero, and it was chaotic. So I talking to you, I said, hey, we got to get you on sooner than later. So this is going to be good. So. First of all, let's refresh our listeners of how Trail Hero started for the veterans and the special needs children and adults.
Yeah, so when we first started this endeavor, the idea was to create a fun way to get people involved with changing the narrative, right? We wanted to ensure people understood that the act of off-roading isn't just a generational thing where your grandparents had done it and now you want your kids and your grandkids to do it, but that it reaches out across the aisle throughout the community, and we're able to get other people who actually need motorized access to experience the outdoors. We get them that opportunity. And so we started Trail Hero with the assumption or the goal to ensure we provide motorized access to people with special needs and veterans. That those are two user groups where special needs, they need motorized access. They can't go for a hike, go for long walks, can't jump on a horse or a bike. They need motorized access to go experience the outdoors. And our veterans, they fought for that land and they fought for our freedom, and they have every right to experience, the outdoors as well. And the motorized off-road community is very welcoming and is very veteran orientated. It's got the camaraderie that you would typically see maybe in the battlefield or whatnot. And so we've got this great opportunity to reach across the aisle. And when you are able to do that with a new narrative, people on the other side of that aisle, they tend to agree with, these people do need motorized access to experience the outdoors. They're not able-bodied people. They can't do the same things that others can. And so, reaching across that aisle, it's a big deal, and it's really been able to change the minds of a lot of people and strengthen our fight in the off-road world to keep our lands open.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the American spirit is alive and well at Trail Hero. It's super cool. As you know, the off-road community is, a lot of us are flying flags and everything on our rigs, and definitely support the veterans. And this is a great event to come out. You can you have two separate days, right? So one day is veteran. You take the veterans out on a trail ride, and then the other day it's the kids and special needs adults.
When we started this, we had two separate days, and it's actually grown immensely, and to the point where we now have a kids access day is our first day. That's on Tuesday of our trail riding system, and then Wednesday is our special needs adults access day. And then Thursday is our Veterans Access Day. So we work with the local special education department to get kids out on the trail. We usually have anywhere between 45 and 50 kids that we take out, and it's just an amazing adventure for them. They see the mountain, they see the off-road world from the comfort of their car, but they've never been out there before. And now we get a chance to show them the lizards and the rocks and the cool things that they can climb on and the cool things that they can see from the cliffs above St. George, and same thing with our other user groups as well. So it's a blast, but we've expanded to 3 days of access opportunities.
Yeah, and St. George and Hurricane have a large population of veterans, right? And it's for whatever reason.
Per capita, it's actually the largest veteran base in the United States, and a lot of people wouldn't have guessed that, but it's a huge retirement community, and a lot of veterans tend to be here. So it's really cool how they've embraced our program. And our community outreach programs have been just good overall for the local community.
Yeah, for sure. So you are fast and furious right now. We're about 60 days away from the event. So let's get into some of the details of the event. I know it starts out with a golf tournament. Chris and I are signed up for that this year. So looking forward to playing in that. And that's expanded to 18-hole tournaments. So you're going to get more people involved with that this year.
Yeah. We've expanded from the links course, which is kind of like you guys just go over there kind of course.
Yeah.
Which is where we really fit.
Where we belong.
Where we belong, right? You guys, you're not golfers. You drink and hit balls. You go over there. Well, somebody's idea was to let us expand in the championship course. And now we've got 18 holes at the gorgeous Sand Hollow Resort. It's literally the ranked #1 public golf course in the United States, or in the state of Utah. Sorry.
Utah, yeah.
Wow.
It's picturesque. It's beautiful. The red rocks, the green grass, the blue skies, it just really pops. And you're on these cliffs playing and playing in between huge rock features and whatnot. It's a lot of fun. And so we've been able to expand a little bit and go from 36 teams 36 people to 72 people and 18 teams. And we still have a couple spots left open if you guys want to jump in with us. But we've got some really cool things in store. We're working with a couple great companies to help build this into a legit golf tournament. And I can guarantee you, after doing this for the last 6 years, it is a blast to be a part of.
Cool.
This year, every year we buy into the beer carts and we go and hit the balls. But our goal this year is to raise substantially a larger amount of money for Wheel to Heal, and that's our beneficiary for this event. Having more players kind of lets us do that. Sand Hollow Resort was gracious enough to literally cut in half their fees that they would normally charge regular players that's time of year. Cool. So it is more expensive than our links course tournament last year. But overall, if you were to try to play this championship course, it's about half off.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful course, and so last 2 years I've gone to Trail Hero, and I wanted to get in the tournament, but it was limited, and I wasn't involved in it. But I'm excited to play this year and check that out, man.
So you're a scratch golfer, right?
Like a 7 handicap, so I can beat it around pretty good.
Well, there's some pretty good prizes. We've got longest ball, we've got closest to the pin, longest putt, and some other cool prizes and stuff.
Yeah.
But really, it's all about getting that grand prize of taking first place home for bragging rights. And
right.
I'm the guy that I drink and hit balls. I'm not much of a golfer. And I would say that that's probably half our crew out there. So you got a really good chance at winning some things if you're just a decent golfer. And
right
then,
on.
If not, you're going to have a heck of a time either way.
Exactly. Just play for fun and to help out for Wheel to Hill. That's cool. Yeah. That's where that's going to for that event.
Isn't Tiger Woods our fourth?
Yeah, I think so. He hasn't confirmed yet, but it's really close.
Yeah, so with Kawasaki, we're actually looking at Jeremy McGrath coming out.
Wow!
Believe it or not, Stone Cold Steve Austin is
really?
No way! That's cool.
Yeah. It's going to be a pretty cool tournament, and of course, we always have Glenn Plake, the awesome world-renowned skier out there. So the expectation is that it's going to be a pretty good time.
Heck yeah! And that's just Monday.
Yeah. That's before the party starts.
That's before the party starts, and then that evening is registration open, and that's always a good time at the clubhouse at Sand Hollow there, and restaurant.
This year, we've expanded so much that we have to actually move out of the clubhouse, and we're moving registration into the Rock Bowl, which is this beautiful location. Oh. They host concerts there and weddings and whatnot, and they're going to let a bunch of off-roaders into the Rock Bowl, and we'll see what happens there. The resort is very gracious with our off-roading crowd, but we will this year the Yukon Gear and Axle kickoff party will be at the Sand Hollow Resort Rock Bowl, and
very cool.
We've got a bunch of vendors that are going to be on site, and vehicle displays, merchandise sales will be on site. So it's like your first chance to get the newest Trail Hero swag.
Right.
And then there's going to be food and beverages on site as well. So it's really, it turns out we've got a DJ playing all night. It's going to be a pretty good party.
Right on. Yeah, it's electric. Everybody's fired up, and the cool thing is, if you're staying at the resort or camping at Sand Hollow, you can drive your rock buggy right up there to the resort and park in the parking lot like a regular car and go enjoy the opening ceremonies there. So it's cool, and get your swag.
Yeah, and we have with COVID, it kind of took out all the countries that would come in attendance. This year we have 6 countries. You're looking at obviously the United States, Canada, Mexico, Japan. I think we've got which was
Australia. Australia's got to be represented.
Australia, and then the one country that nobody really thinks about, but it's definitely different, is Alabama. Alabama will be represented there.
That's awesome.
That's good. That's
crossing the border, making a big trip, leaving.
Better.
Big things coming our way from Alabama.
Man, we're gonna get so much hate.
Check their passports.
What's that phone number for the complaint line?
Right.
I got a bunch of friends from Alabama. I always got to give them crap. So.
Absolutely, and well deserved too.
Been to Alabama once.
Yeah, I have too.
It was hotter than hell and humid, man. Holy moly!
Big bugs.
And they talk.
So from Japan, is it that the rock crawler? I'm losing his name right now.
You have Masanori Suda and
that's it.
And Naozumi Suda, and they shipped cars here, and I've got one of their cars in my garage right now, and it's been prepped and ready to rock. And actually, my son drove it at the latest We Rock event a couple weeks ago and did well, and so it's ready to go. Cool.
So he's going to compete in the Trailbreaker.
He'll be in Trailbreaker. He'll be in the Trailbreaker LCQ, and he's a really good driver. So there's a good likelihood that he moves on to the main show too.
Right on. That'll be cool to get to see him in person there. So then, what else, man? Tuesday, here we go. Trail startup.
9 o'clock trail. And, that day, with the expansion and the interest in the event, which we're very thankful for, we've expanded to 17 trails for that day, which is, in our first year, our largest day had 24 trails. And so our smallest day has 17 this year. And it goes to show, in 7 years how quick this thing has gone. So we moved to 4 trail days. Now we're at 5 trail days. 9 o'clock, you're going to be staged and ready to go. And this year, the cool thing is as you leave the beach, all of our staging is going to be on the beach this year. You're going to actually go around what we have as a concert venue. And this is a new addition to the event itself. So you'll go around the concert venue, then you'll go through the tunnel and head up to your trails. And, I think that we have the typical favorites. You have Plan B, Joint Effort, Double Sammy, the Maze, basically a trail in every single rating from 2 all the way to 10. So if you have a rig, there's something for you early on in the event. Something for everybody. That's cool. When we're done with the trails, that day we'll do the Trailbreaker LCQ, which is a kind of a qualifier for the main Trailbreaker event. This year it's a Tough Country Challenge. It's going to actually be at Sand Hollow Resort, which will be cool. Wow. We get to wheel on resort golf course rocks, which is insane to me, right? And so somehow at that resort, those guys are really cool. They let us get away with a lot of crap.
Did we tell you what I do for a living?
What do you do?
I'm a golf course superintendent.
Yeah.
And I used to be a golf course superintendent.
So this is kind of like it's everything I work against, but this.
But it's not your golf course,
No,
so it
I know
doesn't
it's
matter.
not my golf course, so it's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's interesting when you talk to the resort because they've got some people who travel from all over to go play golf at their resort, and when they see side by sides going by and Jeeps and all these other people with loud mufflers and whatnot, there have been complaints, and the staff and the CEO of the resort go, how cool is it that even you can jump in a side by side or a rental Jeep and go have fun here, and it's not just golf. It's an all-encompassing destination. And it's really the first resort that I've ever dealt with that is open arms to the community, which is really cool. And
That's
they also, we
great.
bring a fairly large economic impact in for them. And, they've been sold out of condos and houses for months on end now. And, it's that's part of our job as an event, but
Right.
it's nice to see that they embrace it rather than allow a couple complaints ruin the day for everyone. So
That's a great way for them to approach it, and that's what I noticed a few years ago. The first time I was at Sand Hollow, town of Hurricane, and all that stuff. I mean, it's just you're welcome with open arms, and the off-road community. It's cool. It's what Moab kind of was way back when.
Back in the day,
So
yeah.
Well, the economic
Well,
impact that you guys experience or that you bring to that region and that area. I mean, I know the numbers were thrown around last year, and I think Jason probably has them, or you can probably recite them again. But I mean, it's like what you do in 1 week is what the area does in 1 year the rest of the time or something. Is that right?
Yeah. So our economic impact is 12.3 million as of last year, and
That's epic.
I know, right? And the entire mountain gets a $12.2 million economic impact all year except for that 1 week when we bring in a 12.3 million. So we love being members of the community and helping everyone out and trying to have an arm out to everyone. And it shows that we got a lot of support here locally. So
great.
But we're going to be driving on those rocks, Tuesday afternoon, and then Tuesday night when we're done with the Trailbreaker LCQ, we're going to go over to the American Off-Road Customs movie night.
Uh-huh.
We build a movie theater out in the middle of nowhere and have a good time. And so we're trying to get licensing right now, believe it or not, for Top Gun Maverick.
Oh,
And so,
way.
oh yeah.
I was thinking you guys would play
it's gonna be
Caddyshack.
Good.
The Top Gun Maverick's
But
pretty
we're trying
badass,
to make
too.
it pretty epic for everyone, and it's obviously a great movie. And so with the help of Randall Davis and Ecto Sports, and then American Off-Road Customs, we're gonna be out there in the middle of nowhere with a big drive-in movie. There will be food on site, believe it or not, out in the middle of nowhere. And where this is located, I say middle of nowhere, but it's at the end of the Joint Effort and 777's trail. And you can get there with a four-wheel drive vehicle. Typically, when we've done a couple of these movie nights as tests, and just on a test night, we have about 125 vehicles in attendance. My thought is during the event, we'll probably be around 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And there's kids
yeah.
running around. Everyone's having
That's
a
a
good time.
success.
Good,
I've-
clean fun. So,
Yeah, exactly. I've seen it on Instagram, and just what an incredible setting. And the drive-in movie theater scene has all but died. And to have that, to drive up in your four-wheel drive and do that, that's freaking incredible.
we got to revive it. It's
Yeah.
a throwback or an ode to a time once lived, and it's just
a
nice
better
to
time.
yeah, nice.
Well,
to
that's like
have it.
last year at the end of the event, the concert. We drove right up in the rigs and sat in and on our rigs and watched the concert. That was a lot of fun too. So,
Yeah,
and you're doing 3 movie nights, right?
we're doing 2.
Oh, 2 movie
yeah.
nights. Okay.
Yeah. We have one on Tuesday night, and then we'll actually have another one on Wednesday night in the concert venue. And so,
Okay.
Down in the state park, right across the street from the lake, we're building this concert venue, and Wednesday you have your trails. They launch off again. We have 24 trails that day. After your trails are done, we have a America's Most Wanted. What do you call it? A call out, basically. We built a drag race track with Sand Outlaws drag racing and Greg Biffle. And so the track will be open, and you can go drag racing on the beach with your buddies because of American Outlaw or American Most Wanted 4x4.
Okay.
So the America's Most Wanted 4x4 has basically been gracious enough to pay for the track personnel to be on site and available, so that we can actually have the staging and lighting or the starting tree.
Yeah, the Christmas tree.
Yeah, and the sensors and everything, so you can actually see how quick you can make it down I think it's a 300-foot track.
Somebody's going to show up with a Tesla with mud tires.
So that's Wednesday afternoon, and then Wednesday night there's two events. One is, and this is the public event, is the movie night that we're going to do in the concert venue, so everyone will be able to go into the concert venue and watch. What we're going to play is Big Hero 6 on the Jumbotrons in the concert venue, which is pretty cool.
Kids will love that.
And at the same time, most of the sponsors and other VIPs of the event will have access to the Rock Sports Gala, which is at Sand Hollow Resort as well.
Yeah, the big fancy people actually get dressed up for that.
What?
Yeah, it's funny because if you look at it, there are people who dress to the nines, and JD Real Drivelines puts together this great event with us, and they there's people that get in tuxes and suits, and I'm wearing a suit, and everyone's in dresses, and then at the same time you get people who are just off the trail and they've got grease up to their elbows and shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops, and they are standing right there with us. So
just get their tuxedo t-shirt on and they're good to go.
Yeah, you can't get the off-road out of too many people. So
right.
It is a good chance for, we go to all these events all year, and it's the same bench racing you hear at every event and the same stories, and it's fun, but this is our one chance to kind of do something a little higher end. It's a great location, so why not? And it gives the ladies in off-road a chance to dress up and be a little different than always, these campfire storytelling, bench racing scenarios.
Sure. Class it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it.
Not too much, though. Hey, can you send us a picture of you in a suit so I can put that up on the website?
No. You got to be present. Last year during our presentation, I was on stage, and this is how formal it gets. I'm in a suit, and one of our sponsors, Rock Slide Engineering and Tanner, decides he and his family put together some literally whitey-tighty underwears with Trail Hero logos on them, and brought them up on stage, and so I wore it right there, put them on in front of everyone, and
oh boy,
let it rip.
Yeah, we got to wheel with Tanner last year, so that was cool, and his family. So yeah, great guy. All right, so that's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So rolling into Thursday, you got the veterans run in the morning.
Veterans run in the morning. We all leave from Lonnie Boy's Barbecue. They're gracious enough to help us build a pretty amazing breakfast. This year is going to be sponsored by Fly Off Road, which is ran by a couple veterans there, and so they really want to say thank you to their fellow vets, and so they're buying breakfast for us, and then we got a couple other ceremonies that we do for those that were in the Korean War and Vietnam War who are still around. And then from there we hit the trail, and we'll this year we're going to be on the Fallen, which is obviously very suited for
my favorite trail.
It's 10 obstacles, all dedicated to American wartime conflicts, and then the last obstacle is dedicated to a local military veteran who had passed and so and was a wheeler, and so Lance Corporal Adam Galvez. And so at the end of the trail, we have the drill grounds, and that's a memorial that was built by Hero for a Day, which is one of our beneficiaries of the event as well. Right. And, a lot of people have put memories and different things into the rocks there. And we just built stairs and handrails so that people can get up into the drill grounds. It's really cool. And that's a good kind of finish to our veterans run. And then we also have, I think it's 28 other trails going on at the same time.
Yeah, that Fallen Trail is my favorite, and it's just the plaques on every obstacle, the walls there, and it's really cool, and you can't help but not feel patriotic when you do this trail. And then at the very end, like you talk about the drill grounds, checking that out last year and walking in, and you walk up. So I mean, it keeps improving. So you say there's stairs and railing now, but you get up in there and you're like in this encompassed by these rock walls, the red rock walls, and they've got all these holes and stuff in them with memorabilia and stuff that people put in there for their veterans. And man, it's just it's really moving to be part of that. So hats off to you guys. And I know who's the guy with the beard, Miles?
Miles Kimberly.
Yes. Yeah, so I got to spend some time with him last year, and very cool, great individual there, and
he is.
I know he was part of all that too.
Yeah, he's actually one of the people that kind of helped us build, and it was his idea, and so when this all started, it's an interesting story. But when this all started, we there was like 5 or 6 vets. We were out wheeling, and we just kept driving and hitting all these really cool obstacles, and we actually drove up into what is now the drill grounds. And at that point, there was no other trails in the area, and people were just kind of driving by the drill ground, what is now the drill grounds, on their way to other places. And when you were up inside that, nobody could see that you were there. And so it was kind of cool. You just stood, you were above everyone in this elevated platform, surrounded by rocks, and you can kind of look down in these little pockets and watch people drive right by you and not even notice you're there. And the more we sat there, the more we realized like this could be a very cool place for the mountain. And Miles and Josh Newren and a couple of our other veterans had kind of made a point, we should build something for the mountain and for the locals and for our fellow veterans, so that just to show our appreciation. There's nothing like that on the mountain before that, and it just made sense. And so they went out and they had reached out to Laser Nut and had some plaques cut out, and there's no logos on anything. This is really cool that everyone's just donated and really hasn't asked for anything in return. But Cody from Laser Nut built these plaques that are all stainless steel, beautiful plaques. Those guys went out and they anchored them to every single obstacle. And then JM Rigging provided all the slings and the metal slings, basically, so that we can mark off what is now the drill grounds. And then as Hero for a Day developed and pulled in donations, they basically got a 99-year lease for the drill ground. So that's now,
wow.
This place out in the middle of the desert was on state land, is now leased by a nonprofit that's based on getting people motorized access. So even if the land around it is sold, they still have the trail itself as an easement to the property. So, I mean,
That's
it's for the next 99 years, we've got the trail and the drill grounds, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
That's
right
great.
on.
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge. Definitely got to check that trail out if you guys haven't been out there, and you got to get out to Sand Hollow first. But to get to this event and do that trail, it's awesome.
Well, it's great. That guy Miles, when we were building it, and there was an obstacle that it was plaqued with the Iraq War, and he served in Iraq during the war, and he had some mental hurdles and some things that he was battling, and it turned out that for him, it was very important to defeat this obstacle. And he had actually tried it 5 or 6 times and couldn't make it. And so one day he goes, I need to go out there and do this. And I went out there with him, and we finally get him through the Iraq obstacle. And it was like this weight lifted from his shoulders. Like he finally got a chance to defeat Iraq. And it was amazing. It was just pretty wild experience.
That's a cool story, man. Yeah, and getting to meet him, that just means that much more. That's freaking special.
So you have a lot of emotional memories from these 7 years the Trail Hero has been going on. I can see it. I mean, the listeners can't see it, but we're all on camera and we can see each other. And I'm just watching Rich's face, and you can see these stories that you're conveying to us are touching on quite a few emotions for you. And I think that's important that the listeners understand that there's a lot of emotions that go through people's heads when they're at Trail Hero and they're being respected and honored and whatnot.
Well, it's to think, Trail Hero is more than just a person. I might be the president. I might be the spokesman. There's a lot of people that stand behind us and support us and help this whole boat go downriver. And but at the end of the day, it's more than just a person. And we won't. And I only say this because it has come up a couple times in the past. We will not sell the event or the company. It's bigger than that, and we're just fortunate to be part of something so cool for so many different people.
Exactly, that's cool.
I gotta get down there.
I'm telling you, Chris. I tell you how cool it is, man. We can talk till we're blue in the face about this event, but you really need to experience it because it is totally different than anything else. It's non-commercialized. It's just get out, have fun with your fellow four-wheelers, and you're helping out veterans and special needs at the same time, and in a beautiful setting. So, all right. So that's Thursday morning. So we got to get into this amateur rock crawl that's going on that day. So this is a brand new event.
Yep.
And
typically, oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm a spotter. I'm on my buddy's team. My buddy's going for it. So this is going to be great.
Yeah. So typically we have, the big pros out there, and they're banging the rocks and getting through these really tough courses, and every year it puts on a great show. And this year we just decided to change it up a little bit and open the door and opportunity for some other people that would like to experience what it's like to do an extreme rock crawling event. Maybe not at the same level as the pros, obviously, but we'll have courses built kind of catered to the skill level and vehicles that we'll see during that event. And here's the cool part about it. All those pros that have been there before, they're going to be there on hand helping the amateurs. So they're not going to be spotting for them, but they'll be coaching them along the way. So before you enter the course, they're going to look at your vehicle. They're going to go through a game plan with you and help you devise a game plan. And then when you're done with your course, they'll have watched you, and they'll say, well, when you were in this spot, I would have front dug this way, or I would have maybe taken it back up over here. Your vehicle shifted a little offline. You needed to get back online. You didn't think of that or whatever. And so the idea is that as you experience this as a driver and a spotter, you become better on trail as well, because what you find with these competitions is it is literally a crash course into being a better driver. And
crash course in crashing.
So, you're only given 10 minutes for every course, and so you have to move quickly. You have to hit your levers quickly, and to do that in that manner and be successful at it takes a bit of time. But when you figure that out, you master it. Now you go on to the trail with your buddies, and you're just blowing their doors off because they don't have that experience that you do. And so to be able to get that in a competition setting is cool. But then to, on top of that, be coached by someone like Jesse Haynes or Dave Wong or Randall Davis or Cody Wagner, those are really cool experiences for people that really look up to these professional drivers.
For sure, yeah. Get mentored by them and yelled at by them. That'll be great. I could hear Cody just yelling at people. That'll be
Cody
awesome.
Could be like, okay, right there, you should have screamed.
Yeah. You should have said I'd punch you in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That's I know Samurai James. He's got this samurai buggy, so he's gearing up for this event, and he's super stoked and excited, and as am I. But I'm glad I'm not in the driver's seat, so I can just sit there and point fingers and stuff. So
you'll be there next year. You watch.
I know. We'll see.
When
I want to force your buggy.
You'll see that it is addictive. Competition rock crawling, and what the guys do at We Rock and whatever, and the guys that host the Delta Classic or the Old School Rock Crawl in Delta, Utah, they are hosting this rock crawling event, and so
Great.
they host an amateur rock crawling event earlier in the year. It's wildly successful. My son drives in it. He's 12 years old, and so. You should do well if you're a grown man, And my son does well. He's
Jason's
12
more
years
like
old.
a 12-year-old in a grown man's body, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean he's a good driver. We put him through the paces, but yeah, you should do well, and even if it's your first event. And so, it's just a great atmosphere. It's a great time.
Cool. That's another new addition for this year, 2022 Trail Hero, 7th annual already. I mean, this thing is just growing. And then, you got Beat Not Baby Beach Party that night, or starting in the afternoon.
Love those guys.
Yeah, and then the concert. So
the concert's amazing. The Beach Not Baby.
Beach Not Baby.
Beach Not Baby. Beach Party is going to be pretty fun. They'll have a couple of life-size beer pong, set up, so you trash cans and water and basketballs and whatnot. So a little different there, but we'll have a slip and slide for the kids. Likely some inflatables and some different things for people to just have fun with on the beach. And just about the time that's over, you're going to experience, for the first time, the Trail Hero Music Fest, which is, for us, it's really cool. This is our Veterans Day at the event, and it's headlined by one of the ultimate veterans in the country music community, and that's Daryl Worley, who has hit after hit of, very American veteran-based songs.
Yes.
Dealing with 9/11 and different, aspects of the theater after those events. He has a song that he's dedicated to the 22 soldiers that, commit suicide daily. And he's a great guy, and we're lucky to have him on board with us, and it's going to be a good time.
Are you going to get him out wheeling?
We will get him out wheeling. The goal is to actually get him on the Veterans Run.
Cool.
And experience he's got sound checks in the morning. So after his sound check is over, we're going to run him out to the trail, get him in the seat. And we really want him to experience, part of the Fallen Trail and, of course, the drill grounds.
Sure.
And then, he'll come back and he's got some meet and greets and different things that he does. At 4:30, we're going to start with Cole Hartley, which is a local kid that does really well with country music. After that, we have Matt Ferris, who's amazing out of Phoenix. And then Jared Blake, who was one of the finalists on The Voice. Got a lot of great music. And then we have Daryl Worley. And so should be a lot of fun. That night is going to be sponsored by Best Top and the Best Top Performance Group. So you'll see, you'll have Best Top and PRP and Baja Designs and a couple others out there, kind of throwing swag around and everything they can to kind of enhance your concert experience. But we have 3 jumbotrons being put out there, platinum VIP areas and VIP areas and general admission areas. And for the first time in Music Fest history, as far as I know, we'll have a drive-in tailgate area so all of our off-roaders can experience a concert from their vehicles.
That's awesome.
And this is all down on the beach.
Because I like to see
it's right next to the beach, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be fun.
So talk about So this is the beginning of a 3-day the Trail Hero Music Fest that's new this year. So how did this all come about? And I know you've always said if somebody's got an idea on your team, it's like, okay, go make it happen. So how did this all come about and getting some Class A acts now?
Well, we wanted to expand the event, and typically when you expand, you have to increase prices of trail riders and sponsors and everyone who's involved, so you can afford this expansion. And that's the one thing we want to refrain from the most is raising prices, especially in what could be tough economic times coming up. And so what we did is we said, well, we got to diversify, and as an event we've got to find ways to bring in different capital from different venues, and we did that with the easiest transition for that is in country music. Not only does it give our people something to look forward to that is more bang for their buck, but we're able to pull in sponsors from outside of the industry now, and maybe those sponsors now get related to the off-roading industry and with rock crawling, and maybe you'll see some sponsorships of some of the professional rock crawling drivers and whatnot. So we really wanted to create opportunity, not just for the event, but for our people, and at the same time, be able to grow without charging more. And so this was kind of our way to do it, and it's funny, I've never realized how passionate people are about music, because I'm not much of a music guy myself, to be honest. Being an engineer, music is not something that I hinge my day off of. But it is a big deal for a lot of people, and if you don't like country music, I get it. Each night we've got different types of music, and you'll see that the country music kind of changes from night to night, and then eventually it evolves into a rock concert, which is something we're pretty cool with. Right. But we know that there's some that just love old school country music, and so we've got a day, Thursday for them. There's those that like a little bit more new school country music, so that's our Friday night with our headliner Colt Ford, and then Saturday night, we know that there's a good group of people that like rock and roll, and so this year it's interesting, the roller coaster that is the music industry. But this year Saturday night is going to be headlined by Filter. The old school rock and roll band. So really excited about Filter coming out. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, great band. And so anyway, we don't want it to be all just one genre. And as this expands, which it will become a larger feature at the event, we're going to make sure that we have different levels of music so that you essentially have something for everyone.
So talk about the way you've got it set up. So I know if you're signed up for the event, you got your trails that you've paid for, so you can drive your rig into the drive-in section of the venue, the concert venue, for no additional cost. But if you want to get up closer, there's ways to upgrade and get up close and personal if you want.
Yeah, so on site we will offer to Trail Hero pass holders, we'll offer basically a prorated ticket. So if you want to get in general admission, it's only a couple bucks more. If you want to get all the way up into VIP or platinum VIP, again, it's just a couple bucks more.
Okay.
And you'll get a chance to, be up front and center with Colt Ford or, some of these other guys. So, but we want to make sure that we always have the opportunity for it to be free to all of our trail ride participants. And so we've created this drive-in area. We expect there to be barbecue back there and good times. And, after a great song, people rev their engines and I just imagine this really cool ruckus back there.
Coors Light and Budweiser, all American beers.
This is going to be great.
Should be fun.
I know last year, like I mentioned earlier, just being able to drive up and watch a concert was incredible and a great end to incredible week there at the event. So this is going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. So, man, I don't know when I'm going to sleep.
Well, the goal is that you need a vacation from your vacation.
That's pretty much it. Yes.
I want to give, we go to these events all over, and there's a lot of great events, but we kind of modeled our event off of the Jeepers Jamboree, in that from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you're engaged and there's always something happening. And so Jamboree to me is, I just got off the 70th Jeepers Jamboree, saw you up there, Jason, doing your thing.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's the model event. They've done it for 70 years, and, we're at year 7. So we have a long way to go. But, we take what they do and we try to apply it to our venue itself. And I wanted to make sure that, when you get off your trail at, say, Moab, you and your buddies look at each other and go, okay, what's next? And there's not much, right? And, well, we might be able to go to the vendor show. No, it's not the right day. Well, maybe we'll just go down to the market and get a beer. Okay. But at Trail Hero, I want you to be engaged and have something going on from the time you start your day to the time you literally pass out. There's something happening. And so just one big crazy experience for a very affordable rate.
Yeah, I think all you're missing between Jeepers and this would be fire dancers. So I got their number if you want me to pass that along to you.
Yeah, and those guys are crazy. They had the fire dancers at the 67th, and then they had the COVID year, 68th, and then last year's 69th, and this year the 70th. They brought back the fire dancers, and it is amazing. I get a kick out of it every year when they shoot fire from their breasts.
Yes.
I laugh so freaking hard. They got these steel cones covering their chest, and
yes.
they just turn these knobs, and it shoots fire out of their breasts, and it is
something out of an Austin Powers movie or something.
Exactly.
Fembots.
Fembots. That's it. We were busting up. That was my first time at Jeepers Jamboree, so that was just, I was wide-eyed the whole time, just like how cool the event was. Of course, we were working on the food crew and going nonstop, but it was so much fun to be part of that experience. And then the fire dancers, and they end up, they were camped right next to us, back behind the kitchen there in the VIP. So I got to talk to all of them, and I'm like, okay, who came up? How drunk were you guys when you came up with this flaming tits thing? And then shooting fire out 6-8 foot flamethrower. I'm like, oh, that was just epic, absolutely epic.
I don't even know how those things are legal in California. Everything.
Right?
I don't know, but it was highly entertaining. But you're right. So it is a sun up to sundown.
Asbestos bras or what?
They're leather. I saw. This is leather. I don't want to give away all their secrets, but it's pretty ingenious. They engineered that one themselves.
Right on.
But it's important to note that your event's super family friendly. There's something for everybody to do. I mean, a lot of the guys that their wives may not be totally into four-wheeling, that they go there and hang out at the resort. They can go down to the beach, hang out in the water, the kids. I mean, it is truly a family-friendly event for the entire week. And
don't forget about the town that's literally right there that you can just pop into to get, if you're running low on supplies, beer.
This is the greatest part. It's got all the cool wheeling, like, say, Johnson Valley has, or Moab has, or whatever, right? These really remote trails. You can kind of go wherever you want as far as Johnson Valley is concerned, but you get the Red Rocks of Moab. But the nice thing is, I've literally, while I'm building trails or whatever, I've broken down or rolled or whatever I did, and I walked down to my tow rig, and I drove a mile into town, got some parts, drove back out, walked up to my rig, fixed it, and drove off the mountain in a day, and you can't do that at the Hammers. You can't do that in Moab. It's very family friendly. I live, obviously the event site is at San Jose State Park. It's a beautiful lake. I literally live on the opposite side of the lake. The trails are within 2 miles of my house. If I needed to, I could walk from the trail home. Not that I really want to do that. But
right.
You have the ability. And then, it's another mile and a half to Walmart, and, less than that to the gas station. And, the parts stores are, a mile beyond that. It's very friendly. The hotels are right there. This 5-star Sand Hollow Resort golf course is right across the street from the state park itself, and less than half a mile from one of the trailheads. And
Yep.
so it's just this really all-encompassing off-road community here. And I went to high school with the CEO of the resort, and it's just, I mean, he's an off-roader at heart, and as locals, we experienced what is called the Hurricane Sand Dunes before there was a lake here, before the resort was here, before all the houses are here. We were driving all over this area, and now that it's developed, it is a little sad, but it sure is nice, and a lot of locals want less development, and I understand that, but it's just an amazing place to be, and we're very fortunate to have one of the coolest off-roading spots literally 2 miles from the house.
It is. It's a destination, and man, I look forward to it every year. The wheeling, I've been doing this since 1990, serious four-wheeling, never competition or anything that you got into, but serious rec wheeler. And when I first set foot on that property, it was like Disneyland, and then got out on the trails, and not a whole lot would scare me, but I am scared shitless out there at times. It is so damn gnarly, some of that stuff that you can get into, and how much traction you get on that rock, man.
Well, one of the things that you told me was
on 80 grit sandpaper,
Yep.
Right.
And to be honest, it doesn't matter if you have DOT tires. You're driving things that you would never get a chance to drive before. And if you have sticky tires, you're doing some really crazy stuff, because
what I got.
The rock just grabs so much traction. It's amazing.
Jason was telling me that, it's like on the trail breaker thing with the gnarly trails that they do with their 4-wheel steer buggies. If they fall into one of those caverns or chasms, they might have to disassemble the rig to get it out of there. That's like level 500. I don't know.
Well, it's funny. We all joke when we've been pushing the level of the sport, and we had to come up with our own trail rating system to really give it some merit. And you get into the 15 rated trail is now the highest the number will ever get. And these trails started off with a 5 rating,
Right.
And and you were driving your CJ7 on the trails, and then eventually we built these buggies, and it warranted building it to a 10 rated trail rating system. And the thought would be that a 10 would be impossible to drive. Well, now you have JKs and JLs and JTs that are driving 8s and 9s, and the buggy crowd is driving 10s fairly easy, because the technology has increased, the tires have gotten better, and the driver skill has excelled as well. And so with this Trailbreaker concept, we elevated the rating system to 15, and this is, I believe, the furthest it will go, because a 15 is literally impossible, right? And the second it becomes possible, it drops to a 14. So the second the first guy ever drives it, it re-rates itself to a 14. And after 10 guys drive it, it drops to a 13. And the lowest it'll ever go is a 12 if it's considered difficult.
Okay.
Right. So the idea is that, 15, we're not going to go to level 100 eventually. That's crap. But
No, I was more, it's like a video game level 500,
Yeah.
It's like, I had to disassemble my rig to get it out of the hole. I'm
that's the joke, is that, some of these trails are so tough and such deep canyons that if you fell in sideways, the easiest way to get the vehicle out is to literally unbolt the axles, air down the tires, and Chinook the chassis out of the canyon, and then come back and Chinook the axles out of the canyon, and then reassemble it out of the canyon. And we've joked around about it, but it's almost happened a couple times. And one time we had to disassemble the rear axle, get that out from underneath the car, and then we could drag it with winches to flat ground, or flat-ish ground, I guess, to then winch the axle out of the hole to then bolt it back up to the vehicle.
That
You know,
that's
it's
the
just-
first trail I have you signed up for, Chris. So good
Is
luck
it?
with that.
All right, perfect. Yeah, my YJ
Your Wrangler.
with
Yeah.
Dana 44. Yeah, good luck with that.
No, it is. It's cool, and one other thing to that is last year's Trailbreakers. So the course was set up. We went over there late evening, the day before, or whatever, and was looking at it. And I'm walking through there, and I'm like, where the heck is the line? It's just insane what the technology has brought to the table here and the terrain that these 4-steer buggies are conquering now, and it's very, very fun to watch and highly entertaining. So
Yeah, and that
That's-
Trailbreaker event, it's kind of one of a kind. We fly guys in from all over the world to compete in it. Very fortunate to have it be kind of our premier motorsports event. And we kind of talked about, we talked about Thursday, but Friday, when you're done with your trails on Friday, we have this Trailbreaker event that's sponsored by BF Goodrich Tires. We also have what is new to the event is the General Tire Sand Outlaw Drag Racing that'll be on the beach at Sand Hollow. And so Greg Biffle, NASCAR driver Greg Biffle, reached out to us and wants to go racing. And so we said, come on out. And so fortunate to have their participation at the event this year. It's going to be a cool addition to what we're doing. And then when that's over, you'll be able to watch Trailbreaker. When that's over, you'll jump right into the concert and pretty much nonstop. But all of our afternoon events start at 2:00. They're free to the public. You do need a 4-wheel drive to access the locations. And this year's Trailbreaker, I drove a couple of these obstacles about 4 years ago, and I've just kind of held this location in my back pocket this whole time. And I'm actually really surprised that as aggressive as the wheeling community is here now, with trying to find obstacles and become trailbreakers themselves with these rear steer buggy cars, they haven't found my newest location, which is really cool. So
here we go.
we've got some really wild terrain that we're going to run
Opening a
this
can of
year.
worms.
I'm very excited
I
about it.
can't wait to see this one. So the drag race on the beach, so that's going to be exhibition, right? The earlier in the week you could race your buddies, but this one's going to be an exhibition. Watch some of the professionals run here.
Yeah, so Friday is actually time trials for them, and they'll figure out where they add up. And then Saturday, Saturday you'll be able to watch the guys actually race in their final heat. And these are alcohol-driven, bad little motor scooters, and we're excited to have them join us. And they all run sand paddles and very aggressive motors. And if NASCAR driver Greg Biffle is involved, that these cars are fast.
It's going to be serious.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, you had the Ultra 4, had a few Ultra 4 cars out there last year racing, and that was, the sound from anywhere you were on the mountain, it was like, oh, we got some serious horsepower going on down on the beach right now. So this is going to be even more louder.
Yeah. I think we've got a couple cars with over 1,000 horsepower, so
Cool.
it should be very entertaining, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
And loud.
Loud.
So Colt Ford's Friday night. I've seen him 3 times in concert. Great guy, down to earth. Another patriot there, and super. I don't know how you landed him, but that's really cool. That's going to be fun to see him out there.
Yeah, really luck. The music industry is a roller coaster, and we've had about 6 or 7 different headlining acts that all found ways to somehow not be involved this year. And so Colt was gracious enough to go, you know what, I want to be a part of that, and I want to be there. And he's a good old boy that just super down to earth and fun. And, so we're really looking forward to having him out. He's hoping to get out on the trails a little bit as well. And then of course he actually really enjoys golf, so I think he'll be at Sand Hollow Resort playing a round or two as well. So it should be a good time for him. And then he puts on a great show. There's a lot of good music there. We've got this crew called the Crew, and they are a group of dancers that'll teach people how to line dance and country swing dance. We also have the Heart of Country Swing, which is a kind of a place where you can take your significant other and learn how to country swing dance. And
Okay.
each group is going to come out and give lessons on how to dance, during certain portions of the concert while we're doing set changes and whatnot. So we have some pretty good entertainment for everyone, great ways for people to get involved, and we're really excited about pulling this together and doing something that really hasn't ever been done before.
So you can get line dancing lessons, Chris.
Pass.
Come on now.
Everyone said, "Oh, Rich, we'd love to see you dance." And I'm not much of a dancer. I don't even really listen to music much. I'm like the drug dealer that doesn't do the drugs, right? Come on,
Right.
listen to music, but no, the
First shot's free.
yeah. But the end result is my girlfriend is she runs the Crew, and she's really kind of opened up the country music scene to us. I went out and got a chance to experience the Carolina Country Music Fest in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and then the Barefoot Country Music Fest in New Jersey. And those are really, really good events. If you guys ever get a chance to go to them, it was a blast. And they were
Wait a
gracious
minute,
enough.
Country
to kinda
Fest
give
in
me-
New Jersey?
Yeah, I had an awesome time in New Jersey. But
Wow.
right? And I would have never thought that. I've got a buddy named Tacoma White who's from New Jersey, but I'm hoping he listens because he's actually from New York and he hates it that I say he's from New Jersey. But
Well, at least he's not from Alabama.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But the two music fests were really gracious and kind of gave me a behind the scenes look of how they operate, and have been kind of there for us when it comes to consulting and trying to figure this out. And we're just really excited to be a part of this and grow into this new venue and see where it goes from here. But I really think that this is an opportunity to put Trail Hero on the map on a national level, and thus in the future provide even cooler opportunities for all of our trail riders to experience.
Yeah, that's huge. That's great. So, what's that?
No, nothing. That's awesome. I mean, I'm really looking. I got to get down there. I mean, I'm just listening. You're getting all excited. I mean, we recorded and talked about Jeepers Jamboree last week, and I'm like, I've never been to that either. And it's like, I got to get to these events. I need to accrue vacation time again and be able to get out and do these things. So, it's just the timing is not good right now. But man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see the pictures from Trail Hero and see the videos and all the different, and of course the stories from Jason. I hope to get down there for a day or two, but we'll have to see if I can make that happen.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you could fly in. It's about 2.5 hours from Vegas to
And
Sand
Vegas
Hollow.
has
So
subsidized flights, so getting into Vegas, you can rent Jeeps, come on up. You can actually run trails with those Jeeps. We let you. Locally, there's side-by-side rentals. We use Mad Moose Rentals for all of our side-by-side rental needs. And if you don't have a rig, you can get here, rent one, and experience the event. But it's definitely worth it. We go to all these events, and I try to take the best things I can from each one and apply it to ours. And granted, we have a lot to work on every year, but we're constantly moving. And like I've said before, it's hard to hit a moving target, and we want to be constantly evolving, constantly moving.
But you've got a great team helping you out making this happen, though.
About 175 volunteers.
holy smokes!
So
Yeah,
big
it's
shout out to
huge.
those volunteers. That's awesome.
Big time, yeah. It's without their help, there's absolutely zero way this could happen. And we're very fortunate that they back us and and somehow are okay with helping me with all these crazy ideas we come up with.
What's the farthest a volunteer comes from for the event?
We've got trail ride participants from now 48 different states.
Holy moly.
And I would say that the furthest is Maine from us.
Wow.
Todd Foss comes out and guides Bronco trails with us with Bailey built, the bunch of Bronco guys. And
yeah.
He's a great driver, great guy, and he comes all the way out from Maine just to be at the event and guide trails.
That's super cool.
We got to see them bashing on the Broncos on the Fallen last year.
Yeah.
And that was impressive, man. Some beautiful
man.
Broncos.
They've got these beautiful cars and they roll them over. He built his whole body stainless steel so that it did not dent as easy as regular steel, you know, and you're just like, man, you just drove on your side.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's what I built it for, you know, and you're just, all right, cool, dude, whatever. As long as you're having fun and being safe, like, go at it, you know, and so
I saw it and I was cringing. I'm like, man, that's a beautiful Bronco, but yeah, it's they're using them, and that's awesome to see.
Yeah.
So going into Saturday, the final here. So what's going on there, or I should say, what's not going on Saturday?
Yeah. So Saturday is kind of the culmination of the event. It's your last day on the trails. We're guiding 36 trails that day between side-by-sides and Jeeps. I think it's one of the largest guided trail efforts in the United States. By that point, we have over 138 trails being guided or so throughout the week. Then after your trails are done, our vendor show opens up. And this year, the vendor show is actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday because of the concert series. But the dedicated vendor show, meaning there's no other events happening during the same time, is Saturday afternoon from 2 till about 7 o'clock. And we have, a great raffle. If you buy into this thing we call a hardcore pass, you get a map of the mountain. You don't actually go on guided trail rides because we know a lot of people aren't into guided trail rides. They can buy the hardcore pass. They get all these trails that are like hidden trails that only locals drive for the year. We give them the maps of those trails, and then they have a chance to win a Warn winch this year and a set of 42-inch BFG sticky tires. So, the hardcore pass is kind of a cool thing about the event. It's like your non-event pass. We want to be rebels and not go on guided runs. Do you have something for us? And so we've developed this concept, and it's been really cool for a lot of the hardcore guys. But all those giveaways, all the raffles, everything happens there on Saturday at the vendor show. And throughout the week, we normally have about $80,000 worth of raffled items at the vendor show itself. So you go get your raffle tickets, you walk around to each of the booths, see what they have they're raffling off. If you like what they have, you give them your ticket. And then around 5:30 or so, all the companies come up and we start, raffling off these cool prizes that you actually want, not, some guy that drives a Jeep that gets a Toyota bumper or
right.
So as soon as the raffle's done, we start the concert. So the concert starts a little later on Saturday. And then it is headlined by Filter, and we're really excited about tying the event together and culminating to the finish of the event, which October 8th is International Off-Road Day, and we're really excited to have that as part of our event. And
oh wow!
And so for every entry into the event, trail rides are concerned. Can-Am and International Off-Road Day is going to do a donation to Tread Lightly, and so that's pretty cool. And then Tread Lightly is actually giving away a Jeep at Trail Hero this year on Wednesday, so you can buy tickets for your chance to win that Jeep, and it's a really well outfitted vehicle.
That's the one that Holly was involved with.
Yeah, Holly
Fowler.
Yeah, Mischief Maker.
Yeah, and
it's
Ian.
basically her Jeep that is built and then you get a chance to win that thing. So
Okay.
it's a different color, but all the same components.
I didn't know they were giving it away that day, so that's going to be epic.
That is cool.
Yeah. So
Get your
we're really
tickets, Chris.
excited. There's a lot going on, obviously. Something for everyone, of course, but it's even if you don't do the entire event, you just do a day. There's Zion National Park right around the corner. There's events that you can go to that are free to spectate and watch, and for us, it all helps, right? You don't have to be a paid participant to be part of the event. We just want you here, and it helps our community. It helps us with our economic impact, and last year we had 4,835 registered vehicles on Saturday of the event, right? And so that's a huge number for us. It's the largest in the nation, but there were 12,000 vehicles on the mountain that day, and it's 66,000 acres. You're not gonna have a ton of traffic issues. You're not gonna.
Right.
It may be a big event, but you don't feel it as a participant. And so it's really cool to be able to offer, as a venue, offer something for people who don't really want to spend a lot of money but want to experience the week anyway. We don't mind. We just ask that if you're on the trail and the guided group catches you, you kindly pull aside, let our guys by, and or go run another trail or something like that. And otherwise, just come down to our home and have fun.
But it's super affordable. It's $50 per trail ride, right, this year? Yep. So I have been pushing that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that $50, it covers every single person in your vehicle. It's not per person, it's per vehicle. So you can load your vehicle up with 5 people, go have fun on the trail for $50.
Exactly. And so I've been pushing the hardcore pass that you mentioned earlier. That's $200, so that's 4 trails essentially. But yeah, you can still contribute to the event because it's for a worthy cause. You get a trash bag for your buggy or whatever rig you're wheeling, and you get a map to all those trails. And then you get into that drawing for the tires or the winch, your choice, I guess, at the end there.
Yeah, we're going to raffle both of them off eventually, but
okay,
you get a chance to win one or the other, and
there you
so
go.
there will be essentially 2 winners from that. And we're that's one of the things that I come from the buggy community. I understand not wanting to go on guided trail rides, but this gives you a chance to be at the event and basically get all 5 days of wheeling, and you can do 20 trails in a day. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're only paying for the guided trail ride. So as a hardcore pass, you get all this maps of trails, and it's sure it's $200. It's worth 4 trails, but you get a map of 36 trails that are all rated 8 and up to 15. And if you break the 15 rated trail, you get to name it.
There you go.
That's a really cool aspect of this as well. But the hardcore pass, it basically gives you a $50 off or 20% off of the whole event weekend, and long term it's really fun for the event and really great for those guys that don't want to be on a guided trail ride. They don't want a spotter, they don't want someone to stack rocks for them. They just want to go out there and have fun with their buddies, and that's a good way to do it.
And if you've never been there before, maps are absolutely essential. I have GPS. I have a lot of trails GPS now, and it's still easy to get lost out there. So if you don't go out there frequently, so map is invaluable out there. So
Absolutely.
The other place I was thinking of was Tokoro Falls. That's a beautiful trail. It's not in the park itself, but it's about 15, 20 minutes away from the park. We did that trail last year, and that is outstanding. And you've got some groups heading out there too. So good scenic trail.
The Tokerville Falls Trail itself is a 2-rated trail. If you have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, you can drive it with no lift, stock tires. Get out to the destination. You get a chance to drive across the waterfall, jump in from the cliffs if you wanted to. And then on the way back, you drive up to the radio towers and kind of get a chance to see the entire valley, the St. George Valley, Southern Utah Valley. And it's just a beautiful trail, very scenic. And it's kind of a local hot spot for us. And since COVID, it's kind of blown up a little bit, but overall, it's a great location, and it's a perfect time of year to go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what kind of participation numbers or people through the gate are you expecting this year?
So last year we had 4,835 vehicles. Typically, September is one of our largest months for sales. We obviously are not in September yet. We're already at 5,000 vehicles.
Really?
So the event is expanding. Last year we saw 33,000 people through the gate throughout the week of the event. During the concert nights, we're expecting to see 20 to 25,000 each night. So, overall the event will be substantially larger, but we have room for everyone. We've gone through, city provisions to build parking lots and create shuttle services and different things so that, we can utilize city services to make it a more enjoyable experience for everyone, and you don't really feel too cramped. So
no,
really
I mean, last year you mentioned all those people, and I was there the whole week and never felt, confined or anything, except when we got a little precipitation. Everybody was running for the tunnel. That funneled in, and that was so funny. I think I got video of that somewhere.
I was one of the vehicles. I was up on the mountain, and we got hit with a monsoon and resulting very minimal. We call it flash flood. It wasn't a flash flood, but
right.
Everyone's trying to get out of the rain, and there's one point on the mountain that everyone has to drive through to get to the state park, and that's a 10-foot wide or 12-foot wide, 12-foot tall tunnel now, and here's 400 vehicles all trying to get through the tunnel as quick as possible. And I was laughing because I was one of them, and we're trying to get through the tunnel just like everyone else, waiting our turn, and it was really cool to see everyone kind of jamming down the mountain at the same time.
Exactly. I've got some video of it. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So there's a new tunnel now then, that they were building, right?
Yeah. So we have a new tunnel. It's 12 foot wide, 12 foot tall. There's really, the old tunnel was only like 9 foot tall, 8.5 foot tall.
Yeah, your antenna would hit it.
Yeah, you couldn't even get a lot of vehicles, the bigger like rigs wouldn't be able to fit through. But now there's plenty of room. They built a whole new, highway system over the top of the tunnel because there's kind of a tunnel or a highway system that separates the mountain. If you could visualize this. Separates the mountain from the state park, and the state park is where the lake is, the mountain's where the trails are, right? And then there's a highway that kind of cuts right between the two. So, everyone converging on the tunnel to get through it, to get out of the rain was pretty dang funny. But, Southern Utah, last year we didn't get a monsoon season, and then we got rain at the event. This year, we're in the middle of monsoon season, and it's going to rain tonight, and it's rained, earlier in the week, and it's really nice. Last year we had 173 days of no rain before the event, and this year, we're going to have rain tonight, so we're 50 days away. It'll be a nice, cool year, and hopefully all the weather will be gone by. It's typically gone by September if monsoon season is this early.
Yeah, it was incredible weather. Minus the rain, but even wheeling in the rain was fun. Just put the poncho on, and nice thing about a buggy without a windshield, you don't have to worry about windshield wipers. So it's perfect. But
just blank.
So yeah. So I know there's some new trails out there, and you pretty much every square inch of that mountain. What's one of your favorite trails right now to run?
Well, last year the coolest trail that I built was called the Ex-Wife, and there's a couple reasons as to why I built that trail.
Right.
But the trail started off as Nasty Half, and then it was a very short trail in a very short slot canyon. And then we were able to break open the second portion of that trail, and we called it Nasty Hole. And so you could take that however you want, but after you're done with Nasty Half, you went and completed Nasty Hole. And then we were able to break open the third section of trail. And I don't know anything that comes after Nasty Hole except for the ex-wife. And so we called it the ex-wife. There's probably some people who will not appreciate the humor in that, but I don't care.
That's all right. That's quite all right.
It was a time in my life I was pretty happy to name it that. So
yeah.
Anyway,
that's great.
That's the closest, funnest, newest trail out there. This year we're opening up 8 new trails in the Hardcore Pass. Trails that have literally not been driven by anyone but the locals, and should be a pretty good addition to the event as well.
Right on. Looking forward to checking some of those out. I think one of them, what was the names I have here? Smurfette?
Smurfette, yeah, that's a cool trail. We've used that typically as the buggy guys have used that area as a quick way off the mountain from other harder trails. And it's still hardcore wheeling. It's probably an 8 rated trail, to be honest. But we just use it as a route, and now we're actually establishing it as a trail. We've built a second portion to it, so it's actually got some substantial length to it, and it should be a fun trail for everyone.
And Betty White, got to run Betty White just because she was all-American icon there. So that's I love how these trails get named. This is so funny.
I am not very good at being original, but when I Betty White was a bad bitch, and she went down, and just happy to name a trail after her.
That's great. So I got to suspect that you're going to do the Facebook updates again as we get closer to the event in October.
Yeah. We actually start Trail Hero Tuesdays, 7:00 Mountain Standard Time, right after the Genrite Tech Tuesdays. And so when you're done watching the Genrite cast, we'll have our own, and we'll go through details of the event. That starts this Tuesday.
Wow! There we go.
We're 60 days away, so we got to start getting out there a little bit. And there's a lot to go over. We got our new app and the concert series and the new additions to the event. And we really want to just make sure everyone understands the process when they come to the event now. And there's some things that have changed where none of our events are inside the Sand Hollow Resort Clubhouse anymore. They're all in the Rock Bowl. How do you get there? How do you get out of it? All the details of the event will be, live streamed on these Trail Hero Tuesdays. And you have the ability, if you wanted to tune in, to ask any questions you want, and we'll answer them to the best of our ability.
It was super helpful the first year that I went. I was 100% solo, went out there, and it was comforting knowing what to expect when you got there. So I highly recommend that to listeners that are planning on going to tune in, check it out. They're recorded, so if you don't catch it live, right, they can go back to the Trail Hero Facebook page and watch them at their leisure. Yeah,
and it's been something that has turned into a small bank or wealth of knowledge for our participants. So definitely, if you don't get a chance to tune in live, at least get a chance to watch it later. Each one goes about an hour, and it's very informative. Yeah,
no, it's great. Any Easter eggs you want to drop before we put a bow on this episode? Is there any little nugget or anything that you can talk about right now, 60 days out?
There's going to be even everything we've talked about. There are some really cool, really big changes that are going to happen with some new partners of ours, and kind of making all this happen for us. And so the best I could say is, if you get a chance to be a part of, the Winchester VIP experience, I would take that shot. If you get a chance.
All right. Good.
And that would be a fun one. And we're really excited about, how our partners are embracing our volunteers this year. Each of our volunteers are going to get special thank yous from, our partners. And last year it was gas cards from Sinclair Oil, and this year it'll be even cooler. So
wow,
yeah,
there you go.
Fan-freaking-tastic. Well, I can't wait. So it's October 3rd through the 8th. Yeah, like we say, we're less than 60 days away. 7th annual Trail Hero. Rich, how do they get a hold of you?
The easiest way to do it is through our website. The contact us button works well. If you're on social media, you can reach out to us there too. We kind of have a fax type automated system involved with our social media, so you can pick questions and get answers immediately if for whatever reason you can't find them. And if you have any other questions that are beyond that, of course, continue those conversations with us on social media, and we'll be more than happy to answer anything you have.
Cool, yeah. So on IG, it's trail.hero, and then trailhero.com for the website. Trail Hero, obviously, on Facebook. So yeah, that it's great. Trail Hero Tuesday coming up this coming Tuesday. So that will be we're podcasting, so this will have aired after the first one, but that's all right. They can get caught up because it will be recorded.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right. Any final thoughts?
No, I appreciate you guys taking the time to include me in on this, and I appreciate your audience for tuning in and listening to me ramble for the last hour and a half, and just thankful to be in our position, and hope to see you guys out on the trail. We
will be out there, and looking forward to it, Rich. And thank you. It's a wonderful event, and super excited to see the progression of this event just take off. And man, I just can't wait to see where it goes years from now with the way the momentum is going. So hats off to you and your team.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for being on, and we'll see you in October.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm exhausted already, and I haven't even been there yet. And I don't know when.
Be quiet. I'm booking my flight.
Okay, good.
And my rental Hummer.
I've never had Monster energy drink. I might have had like a little taste.
They're horrible.
Are they worse than Red Bull? No,
Red Bull's really bad.
I know it's really bad, but
balls. That's like sweaty balls.
No. I think I'm going to need a few Monsters here to stay awake during this event.
6 hour energy or 5 hour energy or whatever those things.
Whatever. It's definitely going to need something to stay awake here. This action packed is an understatement.
No, we didn't. It is action packed. And last year you were dry, right?
I was dry at the event, 100% sober.
Wow. You should do that again this year.
I'll do it again. Just in daylight hours.
You heard it here.
It was a struggle, man. I was on the struggle bus sometimes with the crew that we're rolling with, but I definitely have subsided. It's way less, and the campfire is much more enjoyable now.
Yeah, there you go.
But like Amber said, she doesn't like sober Jason. Nobody likes sober Jason.
I like sober Jason.
No, I was too ruthless. It was bad.
Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, like Rich Klein said in that episode or that interview with him, that chat with him, that was super awesome. There's so much going on. I mean, the music that's going to be happening at this event is going to be over the top.
So the Music Fest. So he's a self-proclaimed non-audiophile. I love music.
Well, I'm not. I was going to say something during the show, the interview. I'm not a big country music fan, but I love live music.
Yes.
I mean, whether it's country or freaking disco, maybe
disco.
Not,
that's going back to your days. Staying alive. Staying alive.
Yeah, the Bee Gees. But I mean, obviously, classic rock is my thing. But I mean, I love a live band, whatever the genre is.
Right.
It's just super cool. It's there's a different energy about it. And I that's what I like about 100%. Live music. So
it is great, and they. I mean, the lineup this year, Daryl Worley, Colt Ford, and then Filter, and then local bands, up-and-coming bands that are opening. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be awesome. And I love the tie-in, starting it out, kicking off that whole Thursday night with Dennis. I'm sorry, Daryl Worley, because he is... And he sings about the veterans, and that's what this, a big part of this event is all about.
It's key. Yeah.
That's super cool. That tie-in, and then you got Colt Ford, another All-American hero, redneck there. with his country rap. Some people call it crap. And I got to admit, when I'm not a big fan of that stuff, but I listened to some old Eddie.
Eddie.
I would listen to Colt Ford. That was like the first time I heard Colt Ford. And I'm like, who is this? This is pretty good stuff, and some entertaining. Yeah. It's funny.
Again,
the lyrics.
I'm not a huge fan of country music, but we saw the pre-show when we were down at SEMA when we went out to we were going to the World Bull Riding.
Yeah, bull riding world.
Bull riding competition there at the arena outside next to New York.
Right,
and they had the outside in the outdoor venue there. They had the opening concert was Colt Ford.
We were front row,
standing room only,
and that was incredible. And we had seen him in concert a few times before that. But yeah, to him, and then of course my close friends know "Working On" is one of our songs that means a lot to us. And when we went and saw Colt Ford in concert, and we got to do a meet and greet with him, he actually changed his playlist set list to include that song for us and dedicated to Brayton. So that was super cool. He's got a lot of funny songs, Crank It Up, Drunk Girl. I mean, it goes on and on. And then Muddin', I'm Mud. A lot of redneck four-wheeling songs. So it's fun stuff. So that's going to be incredible Friday night. And then Saturday, Filter coming on stage as the final. Hey man, nice shot. So that's gonna be good.
Look that up, people.
Look up if you don't know what that's. Well, they sing this song about this individual. So that was pretty interesting. But people that were mid '90s, I think that album came out in '96.
96 or 7.
Yeah, so it was that alternative rock phase, and pretty cool. So, anyways, the Music Fest. So it's free to participants,
right?
There's going to be a lot of people coming in from the town that aren't four-wheeling or anything, but want to see this concert.
Sure.
So you can get just concert tickets if you want, and obviously the more you pay, the closer you're going to get. They got a platinum VIP, with your own, area and your own set of bathrooms and the whole thing, so you can be up close and personal. And then they got general admission, and then they got
tailgate,
the drive-in, the tailgate. So I love that he said, people could be honking their horns and revving their engines or
light
something.
Bars and sirens.
Oh, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what I was going to say. That thing is going to light up like a Christmas tree, man, on Christmas morning with all the light bars,
buggy whips and shit,
and rock lights, and oh my gosh, it is going to scare every overlander that's 100 square miles from that area are going to be scared to death and just run away. No. It's going to be great. So that's a huge new component this year. They had concerts last year, and they were ramping up. I know we finished off last year. You got to drive right up and watch the country band there, but holy smokes. And then the amateur rock crawling. So Samurai James and I are competing in the amateur rock crawling.
That's right. Samurai James has gone all in, man. I mean, it's just like, only a few years ago he wasn't even part of the circle.
He's certifiable. He is certifiable.
He is definitely. Him and his wife,
Lady Samurai.
Yeah.
They have gone, literally jumped into the deep end, treading water.
With no life jacket.
No life jacket. just making it happen. I love it.
Actually, I think they're wearing a lead belt, too.
They're an inspiration. Yeah. The amount of experience that he has four-wheeling, he's got, every one trip is like 20 trips for the rest of us. They're doing it. So
he's competing in the amateur.
So that's on Thursday.
Right.
That's on Thursday. So we gotta keep the Samurai together till the competition on Thursday.
You got your rope with the ski rope handle.
I don't know. This is going to be interesting, and we're game planning. We're going to see how this works out.
Did you put a rear steer on that thing already?
There might be by then. There very well could be. I wouldn't put it past them.
The way that thing evolves.
So, and then the Trailbreaker event, which they had last year, unfortunately rained during the event, but that is a spectacle on its own. If you are remotely involved, interested in rock crawling, to watch these, rock buggies conquer some
moon buggies.
They're moon buggies, ridiculous, terrain.
Articulation.
And, yeah. What was that? Articulation?
And stickies and rear steer, 4-wheel steer.
Yes.
And are they running those fancy new transfer cases we talked about last year now?
Maybe. Yeah. The reverser.
The reverse torque. Reverse torque.
Yeah.
More torques. Less torques.
So, and it's cool now that this COVID thing is hopefully subsided, and it's allowing
monkeypox now.
It's allowing the international visitors to come, and getting the guy from Japan there.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher his name right now. Moro? Okay, that's it. I just did it.
Stop.
Okay, done. Look at Lorenzo's even giving me the cut it off sign. But anyways, I'm super excited.
What's that?
To see him. Yeah, right. There you go. Cut me off. There it is. Thanks, Lorenzo. So to see them compete, and to just, if you're mechanically inclined like most of us are, and to look at the engineering on these rigs is
crazy.
So freaking fun. The golf tournament, we're starting out with the golf tournament. Monday get to play, and you heard about that they're going to have the LCQ at the golf course in the rock pile. They've done rock crawling competitions there in the past, not during this event, but I know they've done rock crawling contests there. So you're right off the fairway in a rock garden.
We're trying to play golf here.
So that's going to be great. And this moving, just to illustrate how big this event's grown, just even from last year, they're moving the registration out to the arena, the Rock Bowl Arena, which is a very cool venue in itself. The place is spectacular.
Like you said, over 5,000 registrants, or 5,000 vehicles registered, and it's not even September yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're probably going to be looking at 6,000.
And people are just watching to see, what fuel prices are going to do, how their vacation's going to work out. Does Billy have a soccer game? All this stuff.
School's in session too.
Exactly. So there's going to be a lot of people registering, the end of August and the beginning of September. And it's going to be off the chains.
Did you see, this is a political thing, but did you see the exchange between Peter Ducey and who's the Fox news correspondent for the White House? It was
the fuel prices,
wrangling with the lady that does the press secretary.
The press secretary.
And it's like, what are you touting this? What are you bragging
fuel
about?
Prices have gone down.
They've gone down 20 cents. No, they're still $2 or $3 higher than they should be.
Correct.
Well, I just love that soundbite. I'm like, this administration is so disconnected from reality. And they're just doing whatever they can to spin it.
Oh, you can't though. Even the how do I want to put this politically? The least intelligent person can see right through the bullshit. So there you go.
No doubt. I saw that soundbite. I'm like, that's money right there.
Yeah,
that is that's cutting to the bone, and there's no way they can defend that.
And she was sitting there just trying to find words, and there was no words.
Her gums were just flapping. I'm just like, oh boy.
No. But talking about money, Rich made that statement. $12.3 million.
Yeah. And it's
for that 1 week. So they bring in more money that 1 week than the town brings in for the entire year.
Right.
Or a resort town. And it's going to be even more this year. So,
yeah, for sure.
Oh man. I'm ready. I want to go.
Yeah. Start packing.
So, if you got any questions, you got to definitely, if you're not following Trail Hero on IG, you got to look that up, trail.hero. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they're on Facebook and trailhero.com. If you're remotely interested, just DM me with your phone number and give me 5 minutes on the phone, and you're going to sign up as soon as we get done talking, if this didn't fire you up. So, it is I can honestly say it's the premier off-roading event if you are a hardcore rock crawler.
Yeah. Well, and as Rich said, he's got people coming from 48 states.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously that's massive. That's not only 48 states, but several different countries.
All the different countries, even Alabama.
Even
Even Alabama.
the country of Alabama. That's right. Poor Alabama.
There'll be some people from Georgia there too. I understand.
Bitch slapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
So
Bless your heart.
This is good. Bless your heart. Exactly right. So, man, if you're not fired up, you should be, and better check your pulse and your patriotism because it delivers.
Cheers, boys.
Delivers. So, with that, anything else, Chris?
Well, don't forget about us, Wheeling Wine Whiskey. You can email Jason or Chris at wheelingwinewhiskey.com. Don't forget about our phone number. That's 408-800-5169.
Yes. 408-800-5169. Give us a call. We're not going to answer.
No, but
you can leave a voicemail.
And we'll play it back.
And if it makes the cut, we'll play it back.
Until we don't.
Until we don't. It depends. If you're Tyler, we're not going to play it back. But everybody else, we pretty much play. So if it needs to be audible.
That's right.
Sometimes people are calling like in their big rig or their Dodge, that just has not a non-quiet cab, and it's very hard to play on the podcast because it just sounds like a bunch of jarbled garbage.
2018 Chevrolet Colorado.
Yeah. So exactly, it sounds like you're shaving while you're talking.
And then Mike Klein, the winner of that thing, he sent us the raw audio files.
Yes.
So
we're gonna play that.
I'll be working on those and get them ready to play at some point so we can hear the whole. With the winning messages for the Gear Wrench tool giveaway.
Yeah, so awesome stuff.
On the bill collectors. So anyway, yeah, and don't forget about our IG, which is at Wheeling Wine Whiskey. That's a direct connection. You can DM Jason there. We also he posts pretty regularly. Definitely check out the reels and stories that are posted up there. One of Jason's reels just... or Wheeling Wine Whiskey's reels just went viral, I guess. That's steaks, man.
I know, the steaks from Jeepers Jamboree.
Steaks from Jeepers Jamboree.
Yeah.
How many steaks was that?
1,600 New York steaks, and they were plate size. I mean, it wasn't like little, tiny steaks. These were
little 4-ounces.
These were heavy-duty steaks. Can I read one message here that somebody wrote about?
Sure.
Yeah, because you get the comment section. So these are medium rare. All right. So here's the this cracked me up. So you always have one Karen in the crowd, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. So you ready for this? It is. It is great. I mean, all these people, you got a lot of meat eaters, apparently, Oh,
that's the way it should be.
Right. I eat well-done meat in capitals. No use in taking a chance of catching some blood-borne disease. I'm not a wild animal.
Really? Is that legit?
It's a legit comment. So I pretty much liked everything else on there, but didn't like that one, so didn't give it a heart.
We politely asked them to leave. Anyways, so check out our IG, and like we said, if you like the show, spread the word, tell your friends,
tell a friend, tell grandma. Listen,
I don't know about grandma; I might have her stroke out.
No,
or something.
she would like it.
Okay, and with that, I guess you got anything else?
Nope.
All right, we're out.